Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to my little yarn road trip video. I am taking myself on a little weekend getaway, and I like to go traveling, short road trips, longer trips, whatever. I like to go by myself sometimes, and that is what is happening this weekend. As you can see, I am already in the car. I am currently sitting on Highway 49 south of Placerville. And I'm excited because I am going to stay in a little cozy cabin that I actually have stayed in before, which is nice because it's like familiar and it should be a good time. Sorry for the cars passing. I'm literally parked on the side of the road. I decided to stop because it's raining. But it's just like a kind of windy road and in the rain with like just, people in pickup trucks wanting to tailgate, and that's not my vibe, so I pulled over. And I decided now is a good time as any to start this video. I want to make this trip just focused on knitting, so that's what we're gonna do. I've already gone shopping for yarn. I decided to do my 2 and only yarn shop stops at the beginning of the trip, like on the way to the cabin, so that once I get there, I could potentially have some new yarn to work with. My last rainy trip though, I was camping, and unfortunately this time we're gonna have like a roof. So I just stopped in Placerville for yarn and for coffee. I stopped at Pachamama Coffee Farmers, which I believe is like an organic coffee company, and I believe like fair trade, and I got a bag there. Sorry, my rain jacket is making rain jacket noises. Does it have any details on the bag? I don't know. I think it just says Pachamama Coffee Farmers. I'm drinking on a mocha. Since I'm driving, I decided to really caffeinate up. They put 4 shots in here, so I have like maybe 1, maybe 2 more stops to make along the way. I might want to stop to get some more snacky things. And I'm thinking tomorrow when I go out on a little adventure that I will get some food when I'm out doing that. Okay. I have just made my next stop. I've already gone inside. Well, actually, I stopped to go to this grocery outlet and I have not yet been in, but look what was next door. Wait, can we see it? Can we see it? Hold on, I'll figure it out. Oh my God, there she is. There she is. Anyways, I'm gonna go to grocery outlet now, and I think we'll check in when I'm there. Okay, we made it to the cabin. I am happy that I pulled over when I did. I am happy that I stopped at JOANN's when I did. And yeah, there was like a really bad accident. Car was being picked up by cranes from a hillside that it had gone down. So, you know what? Just follow your instincts. If you feel like you should pull over, pull the heck over. Fortunately, made it here all in one piece. It does appear that it's a little bit sunnier here, and or the storm has moved on. I just carried all my stuff in here. The cabin is like a little bit set away from where you park your car, which is kind of nice because it's very secluded. And so I'm kind of hot and sweaty, and I am gonna cool off and relax and unpack. They have a lot of tea, so I might make myself a cup of tea. And I'm just so happy to actually be here. I know tomorrow that I'm going to leave and go on some adventure, but I don't know, it feels so good to be here. I'm like, I don't want to leave. I just realized right now that I don't think I ever said what I am wearing knitting wise, and this is my most recently finished sweater. It is the Monday sweater by Petite Knit. If you want to know more about it, it's my finished object in my last video. I just brought one other sweater to wear. My gorgeous Frances. This is perfect because I wanted to pull it out and like let it breathe a little bit. This is Frances by Jen Geigley. And then I also brought a hat, the Musselburgh by Isolde Teague. I have not really worn beanies since I got bangs. I don't know if it's, we're gonna have to do some work on that. That's what I brought to wear knitting wise. And then next I have in here my rain jacket because rain. And then I have this bag, and in here is my bag of goodies from Grandma Joann's. I believe it is Piece for Piece Crafting. Michael, he calls Joann's Auntie Joann's or Auntie Joann's, but one of my grandmas was named Joanne, spelled the exact same way, so we're calling her Grandma Joanne. In here is just yarn, but we got some fun things. And then in here, sneak peek, is the yarn I got at Lofty Lou's in Placerville. And I bought this bag, the yellow one, today at Babetta's Yarn and Gifts in Fair Oaks, California. Look at these flowers and the yellow and green. I also have these yellow socks on. This is the exact same, well, not exactly, but a very similar outfit to what I was wearing in my last video. These are like my two most recently finished objects, and so I want to wear them more. And I'm feeling green and yellow for this season. The next thing I brought is this bag, and okay, it has a blanket on the top. Forgot about that. But you know, sometimes it's nice to pack an extra blanket when you go places. But this is just knitting projects, and I don't think I went too crazy with what I brought, even though I'm just here for a few days. So in here we have 2 bags, and then my sweet shop blanket, which is also because, you know, you need to bring a blanket with you, but also I still have 3 squares of ends to weave in. Or is it 2? I need to do 3. I need to get it done, okay, y'all? So we're just gonna get that done. Okay, look at this sweater. Okay, there might be dog hair, but do we see how pretty that fabric is? Oof, oof. And the amount of time and effort I put into that twisted rib is worth it. So I brought Sweet Shop. And then what is in here is what I really want to focus on. This is hopefully the plan, to really focus on this guy, which is the Step by Step sweater by Florence Miller. And we are scooting on the body. I want it to be long and big. I need to try it on soon. And I just made a few modifications on this, but it's been so fun. See, yellow and green, that's the vibes. As well as I brought 2 pairs of socks. These ones are the Petal Drop socks by Florence Miller, handmade by Florence. And then, okay, this is the heels for my next pair of socks that I'm going to show you. See, yellow and green. And this is, I mean, more than yellow and green. But these are my next pair of socks. Super long rainbow tube socks. They're going to be fun. Oh my gosh, y'all. The sun's coming out. We are gonna have a nice little evening and maybe even get a sunset in. I mean, the sun always sets, but maybe we'll have a pretty one. Yeah, that's really all I brought to work on, and I am going to sit down, chill for a little bit, and then when I feel like it, I will show you what is in the JOANN's and yellow flower bag. We are currently outside and I have kind of parked myself here. I'm working on the step-by-step sweater. I've got blanket on my lap, Sweet Shop blanket, Seafarer socks, and I am also sipping on more caffeine. Okay, well, my stomach just growled, so that's probably a great way to start. Originally, my plan for this had been to be outside, but then it got cold, and so we're inside. I'm just getting settled in here. I spent a decent amount of time just sitting out on the porch knitting on my sweater, probably like an hour and a half, something like that. And I had some coffee, and then I decided to make some tea. This is called Lemon Lift, and I think it's like a black tea with lemon. I don't need more caffeine at this time of day. It's late afternoon, but tea sounded good, and a lemon lift sounded great. I'm not going to actually sip it yet. It's going to be too hot. Okay. What I really just want to do is be able to show off the things that I got at both Grandma Joann's and Lofty Lou's. So I'm gonna do the local yarn store first because that's where I went first. And I'll just stick the Joann's yarn right there. The first local yarn store I did visit, I think I mentioned, but it is Babetta's Yarn and Gifts, and it's where I got this bag. When I'm traveling, I love to just stop in and out of yarn stores because it's so fun to just see what different yarn you can find. I was mostly looking for hat, yarn, DK, or fingering weight, or potentially sock yarn, but I've kind of been like, I've gotten about 3 or 4 skeins of sock yarn lately in my like more recent purchases, and so I don't think I need sock yarn as much. That being said, I did get sock yarn, and maybe we just start there. This is something I've heard about before, but have never actually seen in person that I know of, and this is the Zauber Ball by, I don't know. Anyways, it's a Zauber Ball, which is like a sock yarn, and it is, I think, a 2-ply where the two different plies are different colors, and then they're spun together and create this beautiful color changing gradient situation. My plan for this is to make a muscle burr hat. And yeah, that's yarn number 1. Yarns number 2 and 3 I'm going to pair together, and they very kindly wound these up for me at Lofty Lou's. These are both DK weight. This one might be a wee bit thicker, but my plan is to knit them up on a size 5 for a hat, and for this to be the like ribbed brim, and for this to be the like bottom body and like head crown of the hat. And I made a hat for my dad for Christmas,
And I did the 1x1 ribbing on like a really small, like a much smaller needle than recommended. And I did it really long. And then I transitioned into a different, for the case of his hat, it was color work, but like much larger size needle, basically different yarn. And I'm going to do the same thing because the 1x1 rib on that teeny tiny needle for like 8 to 9 inches and you roll it up twice looks so good. And it works so well at keeping a hat on a head. He wears that hat skiing. He also wears it with goggles that keep it on, but still. And I am just sticking in my yellow and green phase for the most part. But we'll see what I got at Grandma Joann's and maybe see how that is different, the same. And then I did not even expect to go in to JOANN's or stop at a JOANN's or anything. And it just so happens that there was one in the same parking lot as the grocery store I was going to. And as fate would have it, this was a pretty well stocked JOANN's. They, at least according to the signs, had all of their stock. Like, that's all the stock there's going to be. So it was really well stocked, surprisingly for me. I mean, there was definitely empty spaces. And I think the whole store was 30 to 60% off is what they said. I got one thing that was not yarn, but it is in my car because it's an outdoor rug. All the springtime stuff, which that was labeled as, was 40% off, so I got that. And then the yarn was marked as 30% off. So I got some 30% off yarn as well as some clearance yarn that was even more marked down. Yeah. Oh shit, that's good. I love it when I make good choices. Cool. Tea. Okay. I often do not get bags at places, but I had to get, this is right near the microphone and so crinkly, I'm sorry. But I had to get one last JOANN's bag. There it is. Grandma JOANN. R.I.P. R.I.P. to my actual Grandma JOANN, too. I hope you're having a great time wherever you're at. I know she is. Let's start with 1, 2, that's it, yeah. 2 balls that I got that were 30% off. The first one is Wool Ease Thick and Quick. I've never tried this before, but I've really been wanting to make a chunky hat. And I love purple. Purple is actually my favorite color, despite all the green and yellow in this video. But I find it a bit harder to wear, especially and to find shades that I like. So hopefully a hat will work out of this. I was tempted to get a lot more because they had a lot more. And I was like, do I need enough for a sweater? But I just stuck with this. We'll see. Maybe I'll go on the way home because it's just right on the way home and it'll still be there. This is for a size 13 needle, which I will have to buy a 13. And it's a super bulky. And it is 80% acrylic and 20% wool. And if I do have enough to make more than one beanie, or I don't know, I also would like to make beanies to donate. And I think because there's so much acrylic in this, it could be a good donation hat yarn. And yeah, those were 30% off. This one was also 30% off, and it's just a black Patton's Croy sock yarn. I want to be able to do black heels and stripes on my socks. And it's in the color Coal or carbon. Cool. And then, and I'm just noticing that this yarn, one of the skeins, it's kind of unraveled itself in the bag. But this was the yarn that I got even more on sale. And I don't know, or maybe it wasn't, but I don't know how much it originally was. However, I got it for $4.97, so $5 a skein. And it is this fingering weight cotton. And this is in the color Melted Sherbet. It looks like rainbow sherbet, just pastel, greens, blues, yellows, pinks, a bit of purple. Gorgeous. And it's by Casey Knit and Crochet. I think, is that just a JOANN's brand? I don't know. And I got 2 of these. They only had 2, and so I'm hoping I can squeeze something out of them. I'll have to do math. And yeah, this has happened. Okay, it's not really falling apart that much, but this has happened to the other skein, so I shall fix that. But those are the 2. Seems like very nice, good, soft, not splitty cotton. Very fine though, so I will have to work it on a pretty fine needle. Those are all of the yarns. I'm gonna try and hold them up just so we can see like what are these colors that I got. I need to fix this skein. I just know that I have to twist. Sure. That works. Okay, and then I'm gonna tuck that into there. That's poorly done, but hopefully when I cake it up, it will be prettier. Okay, let's hold them up. We have purple woolies, our yellow and green friends. Then we move into sherbet. Just, adding some rainbow, pastel, getting a little less pastel. And then just to ground everything, we do have a black. So that's what we got. We also got 2 bags today. And I don't think there will be any more purchases on the way home because I don't plan on going to any more yarn stores. I'm going to get back to knitting. I might cast something on. It's going to be a great time. Sun's going to go down soon, so this is the end of whatever I'm talking about for today. I will see you probably at some point tomorrow. Oh! There is one more thing that I got from JOANN's, and it is a patch. It was $1.50 off, and it is a patch that says Stitch Witch, which was my original Ravelry account name before I changed it to California Pearls. Okay, that's really all for now.
Tiny nighttime evening update. This is the knitting situation. We have the chair and we have the fire going and it's cozy. Hi, good morning. I kind of just woke up and all I've done so far is make this little fire and start a cup of tea. And my plan is to sit here by the fire and knit on this hat that I cast on last night. I am on the brim. I'm just doing a 1x1 ribbing on a size 1 needle. Want it to be nice and long, so this will take a bit. But yeah, that's my plan, to sit here and wake up and have some Earl Grey tea. I normally have coffee, but tea just sounded really good, so we're gonna do tea. And eventually we're gonna adventure out today, but like, I'm not ready. Like, I just want to sit here by this fire. So that's what we're gonna do. I've got my sweet shop blanket on my lap. It's keeping me toasty, and I'm so content. All right, see you in a little bit. Maybe we'll get more of this done. Well, we're just sitting outside. I say we, but it is just me, but it's me and all my knits. And if you can hear all the birds, you know that it's also not just me. It is the last weekend in March, so that makes a lot of sense for all these birds to be out. It was raining yesterday, and now the sun is supposed to be out all day today. I think it's supposed to rain again tomorrow, but that's okay. So some of the birds you're hearing are definitely water birds, ducks, and mostly geese. Lots of Canadian geese. There's a little body of water, like a large pond, small lake over there. It's getting pretty bright out, but that's okay. I sat inside for probably an hour, had my tea. I didn't get the fire going like super big like I did last night. I just wanted something to warm up the space and warm up my bones. So I did that. And I worked on this for, I don't know, maybe did I just double it? I think it had about 1 inch, maybe it has 2 inches now. And I'm gonna sit here and continue doing this for a little bit. I was not sure I was gonna be able to get out and like go and do things today, but I got dressed, and I got dressed in like the, I want to be really comfy, but I want to be able to like go on some little hikes and walks, and that's where we're at. And now I'm kind of excited, like, ooh, I get to go out and see new things today, or see things I've already seen, but see them again in a different way at a different time of year. The plan is to go to the town of Murphy's to get coffee and to go to Calaveras Big Trees State Park and go for a walk/hike there. We are getting food along the way. And I'm gonna bring probably all or most of my knitting. Oh, I want to mention before I get just back to my knitting that what this yarn is that I'm actually knitting with. I never said what the yarn was, I just said where it was from. So the first one is that I'm doing the brim with is Knitted Wit DK, and it's in the color Salted Caramel. She's superwash merino. And then what I'm going to be doing the rest of the hat in is, one's a little bent, but Jody Long Artisano. And that one is wool, alpaca, silk, and viscose. Yikes, that's a yikes in a good way. Like, that's a lot of delightful things. I have used Jody Long yarn for several things now, but I think that he makes like just great yarns. But like my Francis sweater that I will wear probably later today is knit out of Jody Long Alba, which I love. Okay, I'm gonna get back to knitting for a little bit, and I'm gonna finish my coffee. I have another one of these, but this time it's a mocha. I made it out of the cabin and we are off on our little adventure. Today is about taking some walks, short hikes, walks. I have 2 locations in mind. I stopped in Murphy's, California, and I stopped at the visitor center and got some info, some intel. I've also gotten coffee and just a little bit of breakfast. So we are on our way. I'm like so excited for the day. I might sound tired, but I'm excited. I just need to drink this coffee as I drive. We are here. We made it to Calaveras Big Trees so far. And I haven't even gotten out of the car, but it's like kind of like Disneyland. And like there's like a lot of families arguing, which like fair, you do you, but I don't know. We'll see how long I last. This is why I love having an annual pass. You just pop in and out. Okay, we're gonna go look at some giant sequoias. I believe that's what's here. Some big trees, because we're at Calaveras Big Trees. Whew. Okay, couple hours later, 2 maybe hours later, and we made it back to the car. I just embraced it, you know? It was kind of a circus. It was kind of like Disneyland. There were so many families, but they were also just really cute, sharing sweet moments. I'm just having some Gatorade. I just had like a packet of goldfish, but I'm ready for real food. So my goal is to find a sandwich shop and then find a peaceful place to sit and knit. We'll see how that works out. Hopefully. We made it back to the cabin. I had hopes to do a lot more, but I just couldn't. I didn't have it in me, and I wanted to get to somewhere I knew I could just chill, relax. You know, this is a solo, one-person introvert getaway, and so I did enough peopling when I was at the state park, which was really fun. I talked to a lot of families actually, and I had a Polaroid camera, and I took photos of fun, cute groups of people and just gave them to them, and that was fun. And I got 3 very different Polaroids of myself in return. I just set up this hammock, unpacked some groceries, did not get a sandwich, but I did find like a natural food market that had good vibes. Everywhere else, not everywhere else, but a lot of places did not. Yeah. Sometimes people suck, you know? But I found good place, and I'm happy to be back here because this is a good place. Okay. I'm actually gonna go like get my knitting so I can come up here and chill and knit. I made it back to the hammock. I've been in here for a while. I have 2 knitting projects with me, and I didn't work on either of them. I took a nap, but now I'm awake. It's so peaceful. I'm wearing this new sweatshirt that I got. You know, M to the third said that you're homophobic if you wear beige. I'm being really homophobic right now. But I have a queer collar, so does that count? Does that gay it up a bit? Okay. Anyways, I got this shirt. It says Big Trees because I went to Big Trees. And it's just so soft. That's why I got it. And because, you know, it was cute. Cute beige homophobic sweatshirt. It's kind of getting cold, but also now that I'm awake, I kind of want to knit. And just like watch the birds do their thing. There's hawks hunting over there. So I'm going to watch that. And chill the heck out. And then when it gets too cold, I'm gonna go inside, prep the fire, and I probably won't start it until it gets darkish. Time for knitting and bird watching. I have such cool hobbies. Such cool hobbies. It's been hours. I haven't really knitted much, but I have showered, and I wanted to pop in to just show you this gorgeous view before it gets dark. Isn't that beautiful? Like, just nice springtime hills and trees. And besides looking at this view, my plan is to make a fire, maybe do something with my hair. I have not air dried my bangs really yet since I cut them, but that's what we're doing. We're air drying. And then I'm gonna make dinner. I'm gonna make some ramen, and I am gonna eat some vegetables because that's what my body is asking for. I'm gonna sit out on the deck and eat because it's gonna be warm ramen, and then maybe I'll make warm tea. Yeah, we're gonna get cozy for the evening. It was so sunny all day, and the rain was ridiculous on the drive in, but I kind of want it to rain tonight because I kind of want to hear the rain on the roof. And then I kind of want to have a fire in the wood stove with the rain. Just really, you know, hoping for everything here. We'll see how it pans out. But first, fire. Second, ramen. Okay, fire has been started and dinner is on the stove. And by on the stove, I mean in the bowl. We are having ramen. I think it's ramen. What would you actually call this? Rice noodles, spring onion, garlic, and vegetable. And then, because we think the vegetables was just flavoring, we're adding broccolini and carrots, which have already been steaming on their own. Yay. I'm going to go eat this on the porch. I'm so ready. Welcome to the dinner table. It's a picnic table outside, which is really, in my opinion, a luxury dining experience. If I'm gonna go for ramen, I often just go for straight up top ramen. But I was at like a quaint little health food store, so I have company for dinner apparently. So no big deal, but as I'm sitting here eating dinner, The turkeys have moved in. Hi guys, welcome. You know, I say welcome, but this is probably their home, so thanks for having me. Okay, cool. Thanks guys. You know, not bad. Not bad. All right, I'm gonna eat this TTYL, maybe TTY tomorrow. Good morning. I have been up for not super long enough to make tea in a fire, and it's raining. It's so nice. I did not want to get out of bed this morning because I was just like listening to the sound of the rain and being all warm and cozy. But, you know, gotta get up and start moving. I'm drinking, I believe it is English breakfast and wild sweet orange. And I am not in my chair because I was a genius and left my camping chair outside. So it's wet. So I'm on the ground. I actually might get back in bed. We'll see. I've got my knitting. I haven't made much progress on this, but this is what I'm in the mood for. My voice sounds like I've been sleeping, and that's because I did go back to sleep. I had my tea, I was in bed with my knitting, and then the next thing I knew, I took a nap, which was totally fine because it was cold in here, and now the fire has fully heated up this place. Also, my camping chair was wet, and I let it sit to dry by the fire, and now it is dry. So, all great news. I have just started to make myself a cup of coffee, and I'm going to sit and enjoy that and then continue on with my day. I do have to go into town at some point just to get something for dinner because I only got something yesterday for yesterday. But other than that, I'm not feeling called to do a lot. Like yesterday I was like, yeah, I want to go hiking and do stuff. And today I'm like, I want to sit in a chair and knit. So, yeah. Oh, the coffee smells good. I'm gonna go drink it. Okay. Coffee was a fail, so we are going to town now to see what we can find. Yeah. That was an unfortunate situation. Basically, the creamer was bad. The coffee was fine, but I kind of just gave up. So, here we go. Let's go find coffee. I went out, got some groceries, if you could even call them groceries. Like, I got chips and more ramen. And really failed at finding good coffee, which is so sad. The drive was really beautiful right now, though. I kind of drove around with no purpose, which means that I somehow missed like the grocery stores that were around here, and there are grocery stores. I just didn't find them. But also I was like really focused on watching the green hills, and there's just a lot of happy animals out today. I saw horses, I saw cows, I saw sheep, I saw goats. I drove past like a giant goat farm. Like I saw hundreds of goats. I don't know how to estimate how many goats I saw, but there was a lot. Now I've made it back for the afternoon. Fortunately, it has gotten sunny enough here that my hammock has completely dried. I left it out in the rain last night too. I kind of knew it was going to get wet though, but I also kind of knew I wanted to use it today, so it all worked out. So I think I'm going to go sit in my hammock, and I'm really kicking myself for not getting more caffeine. The tea is good, but then at some point, the tea is just not hitting the spot the way coffee would. I didn't knit at all while I was out. I just drove mostly. I'm gonna unpack my groceries. I got a cheese platter, a gas station cheese platter. Yeah, yikes, we'll see how that is. I'm chilling here. I fixed, my silly hair issue by just putting a hat on it. So now I've got a hat. And actually it was a good call because it is not windy, breezy. It's breezy out here, but there are some blue skies, so we're loving that. We're cozy. I brought a pillow in the hammock with me again, which yesterday was dangerous, but I'm sitting upright and I'm knitting, and so hopefully I can just stay awake and continue with this. It is step-by-step sweater, and I just needed a break from the size 1 needles, moved up to the size 9 needles, just to give my hands something else to do. Now all I have to do for the rest of today is chill. Just chill the fuck out. I'm so lucky. Do you ever just feel like you're lucky sometimes? I mean, like, I actually, planned this, carved out the time to do it, put in the effort. But, when you're actually in the middle of it, sometimes it's nice to take a moment to just be like, shoot, I'm a lucky duck. Life is good. Life is hard and life is crazy. But, ultimately, life is good. This is what it's about, I'm trying to, just maintain my peace through all of it. But I'm in, semi-rural Northern California. And I don't feel fully safe here, if I'm honest, as a woman and a queer person traveling by myself. I will say that the place I'm staying at is very clear in the fact that they welcome everybody. So I am good and safe here, but I've been out and about, and listen, not all men, but it's always men. Ooh, there's hawks hunting. Also, the people that I'm about to talk about will never watch this video, but y'all realize, your dude won, right? What's with all the signs? What's with, him saying he won? We know. There was a property that had, I don't know, I want to say dozens and dozens of flags and signs. And it was the most extreme example, but it, was not the only example. People be wilding out here. Chill the fuck out. Get a hammock. Do some knitting. Get a hobby. I'm gonna go engage in my hobbies. Okay, knitting update news. I am getting close to finishing this ball of mohair. It's a thick mohair. And now my plan is to stay in the hammock until I finish it. It's starting to get cold, and it kind of depends on the sun and the clouds, but let's see, can we finish this? That's the plan. I tried the gas station cheese platter. It was good. I'm gonna say it right now, it was good. Back to knitting.
in front of my fire. Well, turns out the fire is still absolutely blazing. I have this stick that I've decided or realized is too big to fit in the little stove, which is so cute. It's so little. It can't even fit all the sticks. It's starting to not get dark, but dark-ish. And that means I'm gonna start on dinner. So pretty soon we'll have a ramen update. What ramen did she get today? I just went out. That's why I'm so like red. And anyways, I just went out and did a little walk around the property before the sun sets. It is windy out there. I got pretty chilly. But I'm back in here and it's a furnace. Before I went out on my little walkabout, I finished the mohair ball on my step-by-step sweater, and that's exciting. So after dinner, we're starting a new ball of mohair. I have really exciting plans. New ball of mohair. Wow. I am going to go make my ramen. Welcome to dinner time. I have some ramen. It is sriracha ramen, and I don't want to tip it, but if you can tell, the broth is just bright red, a la sriracha. So my sinuses are about to be cleared out by this, and I'm looking forward to it. Put my hair out of the way so I don't confuse it for a noodle. I have broccoli or broccolini in this ramen today. Yesterday I also had a carrot, but I bought like the smallest carrot I could find and then I used the whole thing yesterday. But I still had broccoli left over, so I thought it'd be good to include. Yesterday's ramen was good, but it was like health food ramen. This was gas station fiery hot ramen. I like them both. However, if I was going to be biased, no turkeys tonight for dinner. So I'm dining alone. I decided to sit on the other side of the table so I could have a different view. And then that way there was also this view. Last night I was looking at that, which is pretty stunning, no? Oh my God. Why is that so good? It's incredible. Spicy. Delicious. Spicy. It's good. I'm going to eat this and then go back inside and knit. It was so good. And also my whole face is on fire. My eyes are watering. My sinuses are clearing out. Yeah. I'm going to watch this reverse sunset. I'm actually facing towards where the sunset is, but it is gray over there. And look what's behind us. I was going to go inside, but now I'm like, should I bring my chair outside and sit? Oh, I can put it like right over there and sit and knit and watch whatever's gonna happen with this sky. We're gonna do that. Do I need another layer? It's cold. It was so spicy. Am I crying? Am I crying? Maybe. Just a little. Worth it. So good. I am out on the deck. I just cleaned up from dinner. I was sitting right there, and it is now time to knit. The geese, it sounds like they're moving in for the night. Like they're all headed to the pond. So we might have geese interruptions. I have with me my sweater, and I'm going to keep on working on this while I sit here. It's really warm on my lap, and
and I'm going to start a new ball of mohair. This was the LRA Tufty, and I just finished one, so now we're starting a new one. Such a monumental moment, you know? This sweater is getting really long. Not really long, but I want it to be long and oversized. Like, look at this sweater. This store-bought sweater. This one probably won't have as positive ease in the like shoulders and stuff, but it still is going to be a lot of positive ease. And I just want it to be able to be worn with leggings on my body, which is not super tall, but I'm not very short. And so sometimes oversized things I get excited about, and then it's like, well, that's not oversized on me. So we're making this. We're starting the new ball of mohair. Before we do that though, I have like washed my hands a lot and been knitting a lot and doing a lot of things. Yesterday I was so devastated because I forgot to bring, well, I had lotion, but I had like this tiny bottle of lotion that had nothing left in it, basically. So it's out. And that just doesn't bode well for somebody who uses their hands constantly. However, when I stopped at the health food store yesterday, I remedied this situation, and I'm about to put both of these on. I got myself some Mountain Ocean Skin Trip Coconut. I don't know, it just seemed cool. Smells good, smells like a coconut. I'm going to put that on, and then I'm also going to put on this Badger Balm for hardworking hands. And is it this one? Yes, this one. It has lanolin in it. It has lanolin in it. So I feel like that just works well for a knitter's hands and for working on projects that have lanolin in them. Now we're ready to knit. Now we are ready to knit. Let's join this new ball. All right, there we go. It has happened. Here's the ends. We have been joined. I think it's Cheryl Strait that says this, but basically, or it was, maybe it's a quote that her mom said, but it was, there's a sunset and a sunrise every single day. And every single day, you can put yourself in the way of beauty. Now, not all sunrises and sunsets turn out, but every day you can put yourself in the way of beauty. And every day you can rely on the fact that the sun is going to set and it's going to rise. And that's really comforting. Well, I guess my plans are just to keep on knitting. Okay, I think this is it. I think talk to you tomorrow. My plan is to sit here and knit until I get too cold. Fortunately, I put on hand knitted wool, so I'm toasty. But it is a bit breezy, so I will go inside soon. Until then, I'm gonna sit here, knit on this sweater, enjoy the view. Hey guys. Geese are coming home for the night. I think they go out for adventures during the day and then they come home to their pond every evening when the sun is about to set. Good morning. I am sitting here in the rain. I'm sure you can hear, but it's pouring outside. I do have to like walk everything down to the car. So we'll see how that goes in the rain. I have a rain jacket and boots. I'll be fine. I'm catching my breath a little bit. I just carried stuff up and down the hill to the car, and I am going to just sit here and chill and enjoy my last few moments here. I don't have to check out for a bit, but I'm gonna leave on the earlier side because I'm ready to get on the road. Although if it starts pouring, I might wait for a break in the rain to pack up the rest of my stuff. But the rain has been like, it's consistently raining, but the like really heavy showers are pretty intermittent. So I'm able to like go outside and like between, what am I even saying? You know, between major rain moments. I've had no coffee yet, and this is not caffeinated tea, so this should be fun, interesting. My bangs are still looking crazy. It is what it is. What I'm thinking I want to do this morning is go to the town of Jackson and see if this one cafe restaurant is open. Maybe I should look before I go. But I've been there twice, and it's such a delightful little place that I'm like, I could stop there. This tea is delightful. Wild sweet orange. Ugh, I already packed up all my knitting and put it in the car. I was like, I can't sit here and knit. What a tragedy. It'll probably mean I leave faster though, which is not a bad thing. Here's to drinking tea and going to Jackson. I decided to just take a little stop. I was driving and I saw a sign that said river access, and so I followed it. And it's so nice and peaceful. It's raining really lightly, but I'm gonna hang out for a bit. Update from the road. I stopped in Jackson and I had my breakfast and I had my coffee and I feel alive. Turns out real food will really do a body good. I just had like a little breakfast sandwich and a mug of coffee, but it was perfect. It hit the spot. I sat there and I knit for a bit while they were making my food, and it was delightful. I went to this place called Rosebud's Cafe. It's on like Main Street of like Old Town Jackson, which look how cute Old Town Jackson is. And it is, as the person that works there says, they're a little counterculture for the area. The people working there are delightful and welcoming, and it felt so good to find a nice little safe space to hang out in. I really appreciate that places like this exist. This is my third time visiting Rosebuds, and every time it has not disappointed. I get good food, there are nice people, there's a bathroom, which is always key for a road trip. And yeah, I'm gonna turn the camera around real quick and I can show you what Rosebuds looks like. Okay, there it is. Isn't it so cute? It's right there, right at the end of Main Street. Would recommend. Update. I am on like a pretty gentle stretch of road, and there's a truck behind me that's not tailgating me. Go white truck. You know, you wouldn't think you had to celebrate these things, but I think this might be a good place to end this video. because the only place else that I'm going is home. And I'm so ready to go and see my dogs. So now we are back down into the valley, into the farmlands. So many happy cows. I'm gonna go ahead and go. Thank you so much for joining me on this little adventure. I'm not at this point even sure what I recorded, but I'm going to put all the clips together and see what I can do. Oh, there's California poppies. I doubt you can see them, but there's California poppies. Springtime in California. And there's the vetch. Vetch is like purplish blue. There's a lot of wildflowers. I keep on thinking like, oh, I'm gonna go, and then I have something else to say. But really and truly,